Yeah. We gotta rise up. Rise up. Yo. Go for broke, give everything, better yet give your all. They don't wanna see you win, nevertheless show evolve. Wanna see my demise, you can be in for a surprise. Cause the sun ain't about to set, no, it's about to rise. Come hell or high water, we gotta rise up. Despite the storms of life, man, we gotta rise up. All right, what's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you to this week's episode of the Stage is Mine podcast, presented to you by TV. I'm your host, Terrance Hill. This week, it is my honor and privilege to bring to the platform someone who I follow on Instagram and a big fan of, Mary Smiles. Mary, how are you?
Hi, Terrance. How are you?
Doing very well. I'm so happy to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me over. I feel so honored that you would even consider having me, and especially to talk about something that I am so inspired to try to promote into the world.
Yeah, definitely. It's my pleasure to have you on the
Yeah.
platform. What started off? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a single mom. I
Mhm.
have 3 grown daughters. I have been in the fitness, working out mode for my entire life. I would say my brother inspired me into running when I was in high school. I'm very grateful for that. I did a little bit of track. I think because it kept me out of trouble and it kept me in shape. And I've been very passionate about running most of my life. I feel that exercise, and I'm always promoting it. Some people have different types of addiction. Some people like to eat. Some people like to, do other things. For me, exercise is such a great release for all different reasons. And you get to enjoy the results and the benefits from it. You work hard and it really does make a difference. And I would say I've been consistent most of my life. It's just a great way to, enjoy life. It just keeps you healthy mentally, physically. It makes you strong. And so I've been, even when I was pregnant, I ran.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I walked, with the doctor's approval, obviously, but go on treadmill. But I do enjoy being out on the pavement.
Yeah. Where are you from, Mary?
I was originally born in Venezuela.
Really?
And yes, and
Okay.
so I grew up. It's the funniest thing. When I was a little girl, I grew up watching all the Miss Universe contests, the beauty contests.
hmm
So I think that was kind of instilled in my mind, and that's why I always dress up. I always do my hair, my makeup, and just being fit and just
hmm
being the best that I can possibly be. It's just kind of like it was instilled in me growing up and watching those beauty pageants. And I always feel if you look good, you feel good.
hmm
It just puts you in a different mindset altogether.
Yeah. Now, how did you end up in Florida, and what do you love so much about Florida?
Um, the beaches.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
always say daily, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so blessed. I'm living in paradise.
hmm
I actually had the opportunity of, when I was going through a really tough time of my life medically. I lived literally across the street from the beach, and I would wake up, force myself to walk up and down the sand. It was such a healing process and journey for me. I highly recommend, if you've never had the experience, get your butt out of bed early and go watch a sunrise. What a spectacular way to start your day. And if you're on the West Coast, go watch a sunset. We only have so many of those. And it's just, for me, it's the ocean and the sound and the water and watching the sun rise up. It just, every day you have a brand new beginning. You can, if you screw up, you make a mistake, I always say tomorrow's a new day. You can start all over again. And it's just very inspiring.
Right.
So when we came here, we left everything behind in Venezuela, and still have family there. And my mother saw the changes when they were happening, and she said it's time to get out. And we left the country and started here out of nothing. And came to Miami, came to Fort Lauderdale, and I basically grew up in Fort Lauderdale Beach, while spring break was the thing to do back in the 80s.
Mhm.
And I had older brothers, so they would be very watchful over me and keep me away from those places, but I would still go to the beach and just hang out. And I just love it so much. Fort Lauderdale is just a fun town to be in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been up there several times. It's very nice.
Oh, you have? Well, we'll
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
get together.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been all over Florida, so yeah, it's very
What's your favorite part?
maybe maybe West Palm.
Oh,
Maybe.
West Palm is nice. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
nice.
big money there.
Yeah,
Have you
exactly.
driven by the big mansions?
Yeah, yeah, it's very
Yeah,
nice there.
yeah, it's big money there.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I know, the old saying is you're not supposed to ask a woman her age, but you post it a lot on
I
your
posted a lot.
Instagram, and
Yes, I
but
do.
you look great for your age.
Thank
Tell
you.
everybody your age, and you know,
As yeah, so and it's the funniest thing, I don't perceive myself as such. But I see a lot of the people's reactions. I was at the beach 2 weekends ago, and I was raised very Catholic, very old school. My mother used to say, you can't wear a bikini. It's not, it's sinful. And I only own bikinis. I don't
mhm,
know what it is, but um, people approach me and they want to take a picture with me and the tourist. I'm always really friendly. I always want to leave a good impression with people visiting, and I think people come to me because of my energy. I radiate a very positive, and I do. Just I'll be walking in the street, and somebody will just say to me, I love your smile, I love your
mhm.
energy. And when I go into like an event or a function, people just for some reason they just become attracted, and then we start conversations, and then. But I'm always very. I was born with a gift that I know for a fact, because I'm always pretty chipper. I always try to see the light of whatever it is. I mean, we all have ups and downs in life, and it's not always perfect. But I always try to find I always say, instead of saying, why me? I always say, what does God want me to learn from this life lesson?
Mhm,
And how can I evolve from it? How can I work past it?
mhm.
And I know, looking at your story, you've been in an intense car wreck, and,
Right.
I'm sure that transformed your life, and you saw a different side of you that you
Oh
never
yeah.
thought, that you could overcome that. And the same thing happened to me. I went to have a very simple procedure. I should have never even had it done. It landed me in intensive care for 3 days. I lost a ton of blood. I had to have a hysterectomy out of it.
Mm,
It really transformed my life. And I had about 6 surgeries in 6 months. And I went from running 5 miles every day, going to the gym 7 days a week because I'm just so passionate about it, to being in complete and utter bed rest. I had to count on my very few friends and family. My brothers, my family was amazing. My daughters were away at school.
mhm,
Um, but it taught me how much more stronger I am as a person. And the doctors told me if I wasn't in such great physical shape, I would have never survived what I went through.
wow.
And they told me I wouldn't be able to run again. And here I am. I'm still doing it. I obviously have some struggles, but I work through them, and I try to seek the holistic approach of things, the healing. A lot of it has to do with your mind, mental,
Mhm,
your diet. I'm not saying anything bad about doctors, but I feel that I've discovered recently, I've met someone very special, and he's actually helped me, given me a lot of knowledge between the Eastern and the Western medicine
mhm,
and acupuncture, and just seeking other ways of healing. Sometimes people seek the instant results, but then they don't consider the long-term effects from whatever it is that they're taking.
mhm,
Where if you approach the holistic side of things, the healing process takes longer, but there are no, side effects, and the end results are typically really great. So
mhm.
if I have to say something, just exercise, get your butt moving, at least 20 minutes. And, I get it. I understand that we all have very busy schedules. I just took on a pretty intense job at a big law firm, and I've been struggling with finding the time, but I do every day. I lift my weights. I try to do something just to keep me going. because it does make a big impact mentally. Exercise it's just such a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
Definitely.
It kicks in your happy endorphins.
Yeah.
Um,
What would you say? You kind of answered it a little bit, but you know, obviously the benefits of it. But what would you say to someone who is kind of at the starting point, who wants to get started, wants to
right.
make some lifestyle changes? What are some tips and some things that you learned over the years that you can give out to them?
I'd say consistency is key. That is the biggest thing. Even if you just do, you don't have to work out, rigorously. You can always do just even as something as simple as 10 minutes, right? You can do some squats. You can do a couple of, get yourself a couple of 5, 10 pound hand weights. You can do it in your living room. You don't necessarily have to go to the gym. I used to go to the gym all the time, and right now, unfortunately, I don't have the time. So I work out at home, or my favorite place is the ocean, the beach. I'll go to the beach and I'll work out there. And I try to exercise as many body parts in one exercise routine as I possibly can do it. Later on, I will get some videos going. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and tell me I should do some like Zoom classes and share the workouts that I do. But just to get your heart moving, walking, you don't necessarily have to, dancing. My favorite, dancing.
Mm,
Just allow yourself 10 minutes to love yourself, your body, your
mm,
mind, to get your blood pumping. And it does make a difference. After a while, you kind of get addicted and hooked to it. And then you just don't want to stop. You
right.
feel better once you do it. And you do feel it when you stop. And then your body's like, hey, wait a minute, I'm missing
Mm.
something.
Yeah, right.
So I would say, and it sounds silly. I maintain a lot. I do a ton of squats. Not to be too TMI, too much
Mhm.
information, but when I go to the restroom, I'll do 20 squats.
Yeah.
I'll do 10 half push-ups against the bathroom sink.
Hmm.
Just something. I try to work out my glutes every day, and my arms. But I do find it the older you get, the harder it is to build and maintain muscle.
Hmm.
And I think it's because you have to eat a lot more protein, and I'm not as good as that with my diet because I work a lot and I'm always busy. So I
Hmm.
always have to remind myself to eat because I'm not always hungry. But exercise does, it does do that to you. It kind of, after a while, when people say, oh, I'm always hungry, when you
Hmm.
start getting your metabolism going, uh, you're really not feeling as hungry. And I always say sometimes people are thirsty and they're not necessarily hungry. And so I always say, drink a glass of water,
Hmm.
see if you're really hungry, and then eat, and then it's always portion control.
Right.
My mother kind of instilled that in me. She was 93. She
Mhm.
was one of my biggest mentors besides my brother. She would be very active physically all the way till the end. And she would try to do, against the wall, she would do some push-ups. And she would always tell me, when you're older, your leg muscles, your thigh muscles are very important so that you don't trip and fall and keep going. And your thighs are the biggest muscle in your body.
Mhm.
So it's always really helpful for your legs to be strong as you age.
Mhm.
Um, but I would say, create a routine. Start it first thing in the morning before you even go in the shower. Just say
Mhm.
to yourself, okay, I'm going to dedicate 10 minutes. Do it in front of your mirror. I highly recommend that, not because you want to admire your body. I do it, a lot of it, just to make sure that I'm doing the right muscle definition and that I have the right form
Mhm.
when I'm training. And that also motivates you, because then after a while, after 2 weeks, after a month, after 2 months, you start seeing the results, and then that becomes exciting, and then you want to do it more and more.
Right.
You do see and once you build that muscle base in your body, even if you stop for a little bit and you get back, but I don't recommend it. I mean, I always say keep it going.
Yeah.
Your muscle remembers pretty quickly,
Mhm.
so it's just that start and then just being consistent.
Right.
Before you take a shower, just
Mhm.
get that workout out of the way, even if it's just 10 minutes, and then you can increase it. Then you can say, okay, in the evening I'll add another 10 minutes, and then there's just 20 minutes.
Right.
um So I say stick to it. Make yourself some posters, remind yourself, put some pictures in your bathroom, something, an alarm in your, in your phone to remind you, just to be consistent with it.
Right.
So
What about water and then also recovery?
yes. So for me, I found as I've aged, the best thing is to do weights every day, just to keep the muscle mass going. Typically, if I would have the long runs, like 6, 8 miles, I would always give my body the next day some rest. I would walk, not necessarily run. Um, and definitely hydration, especially, I'm kind of silly where I would train, in the middle of the summer in Florida, it's like 100 degrees. I would go for a run, 8 mile run at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. For me, it was just building endurance. So, but you have to kind of prepare 24 hours prior. You got to hydrate, and it's not just drinking water. Sometimes I'll put a pinch of Himalayan salt in my water, to keep it going, Gatorade. But I try to stay away from those drinks that have a lot of food coloring. I found that the simplistic things that you can put in your body, less processed, less sugars, all natural, are so much better for your body. If you decide to switch your diet plan, I would say it takes about 2 months. I started implementing more vitamins and magnesium. I posted a video. A lot of people have magnesium deficiencies and they're not aware of it. And that can affect your mood, your sleep, your, intestinal, your digestion.
Right.
I take magnesium at night at bedtime and supplements, and I've been trying to figure out the right amount of supplements. Organic, the less, the more simplistic in the contents of it. But definitely hydration. Don't wait till you're thirsty. If you're planning to go for a long run, you have to make sure you drink plenty of water 24 hours prior. I kind of, try to tell myself, okay, every hour I'm drinking a big glass of water and room temperature. So I started going to this healer. She's amazing. She's really transformed my life in the past 6 months. And she highly recommends not to have anything cold in the body. So stay away from drinking cold water, all room temperature. It is so much better for your body. Your body processes a lot better. And same thing with the diet. And I love, having a frozen shake, protein shake. But she recommends room temperature. It's also really great for your body. So,
Mary, what's on your playlist when you go run?
oh man, I'm all over the place. Obviously, it's one of your songs.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan as well.
Oh, thank you.
Your music is pretty cool.
I appreciate it.
I have daughters in college, so somebody in my age group, they tend to listen to, no offense, to the older type of music, but I listen from rap to EDM. Sometimes I listen to country or disco music. I'm just Latin music. I'm very much whatever the mood is that I'm feeling. I pretty much switch it up, but mostly for running a long distance, I'll go, EDM route, because it's a faster beat. But I'm a big fan, I listen to the lady rappers. So it's pretty cool. You got to keep up with the times.
Right.
So that's all my daughters, they listen to, different genres, but, just kind of staying with that vibe.
Yeah. I'm in the process myself, kind of trying to get back into running. I just had back surgery 11 weeks ago.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's been a process of getting my full range of motion and everything back. But I'm
Right.
definitely inspired and bought a new pair of shoes a couple days ago, so I'm ready to go break them
Nice.
in.
What kind of shoes did you buy?
I bought Asics, but
Oh,
normally
my
I have
favorites.
normally I have Mizuno's, but I felt
Uh-huh.
like Asics is what I started with.
Yes, I love, and I don't promote, I'm not getting
Mhm.
paid for this, but I do Asics and Brooks.
Okay.
Brooks are my top pick. From running a lot, sometimes you
Right.
get those heel spurs and they're painful. And I
Yeah.
found that was the only sneaker. If you're feeling any kind of pain, knee pain, foot pain, to me, especially if you go on the pavement, you wear out your sneakers very rapidly. It's time to replace your sneakers. And I
4
never
months,
run,
3-4
right.
months.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I never run with the same sneaker. I always change them. I never, consecutively. I have a ton of sneakers in my closet.
Mhm.
And I'll change them up constantly just because, sometimes they were at different makers,
Yeah.
and some give you better support than others. And I also put shoe support inside to give it a little bit of support to my arches.
Yeah.
And that seems to help a lot, make sure that you're properly fitted. You can go to a running store and have your foot measured so that you're buying the proper size. Sometimes I'll tend to buy a half a size bigger because when you're really hot, especially here in South Florida, in the heat, your foot tends to swell.
Right.
So I get myself a little bit of space so that I'm comfortable running. But yeah, change them up. Don't overuse your sneakers for sure.
Right. Yeah. Mary, I do this in every interview that I do. I'm gonna throw a couple rapid fire questions at you, and you just
Okay.
answer with the first thing that comes to
Oh
your
my.
mind.
All right.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Okay. Favorite food?
Sweet plantains and steak.
Okay. Favorite actor?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. There's so many. I would say, it's that's a hard one to say. I would
Yeah.
say, who inspires me a lot? Dolly Parton.
Okay.
Not because she's a great actress, but because she's a businesswoman. She's got that bombshell look, kind of like something that I like,
Yeah.
and she's always so happy and positive and looks amazing. And she's a pretty powerful woman.
hmm Favorite recording artist?
Oh my goodness. Again, besides your music,
Okay. It may not be like, it
I
may not be someone who's like of all
right.
time, but maybe someone that
Right.
just kind of comes to mind.
I do like Drake, French Montana,
Okay.
a lot. I do Post Malone. There's so many,
Yeah.
but I do like their music.
Nice.
Cardi B, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
um, you know,
Okay.
so.
Favorite TV show?
Well, so I work a lot,
hmm
and and my type of job requires a lot of thinking, critical thinking. So I'll come home and I'll watch something that's really not, very much, thought processing. And sounds silly. I've been watching lately the 90 Day Fiance
Okay.
on on the other side,
Yeah.
only because I see where the different cultures, it's interesting, where people leave America and they go to a
Yeah.
foreign country and trying
Right.
to adapt themselves to that lifestyle. And it's pretty fascinating because it kind of gets you to see how people live in different countries. We
Right.
are so forthcoming in so many different ways.
hmm
And so that's been kind of interesting to watch,
Yeah.
besides I'm a hopeless romantic.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and my wife watch it also. You have a favorite movie?
I would say The Notebook is one of my top movies. And then I would say one of my second favorite movies is The Help.
Okay. Yeah.
If you ever seen that,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Three more. You're stuck on an island for a year. What three movies do you have to have, and what three albums do you have to have?
Okay. Movies. I would say The Notebook for sure. Um, oh my goodness. Something Breakfast at Tiffany's is kind of like Miracle in 34th Street. That's one of my top favorite ones,
Okay.
because it's about faith and believing in something that you don't see. And albums. I'm also an Elton John fan.
hmm
Um, oh boy, oh boy. I know Michael Jackson. I grew up
hmm
with the classics.
Yeah.
Disco is something fun.
hmm
Casey and the Sunshine.
Okay.
There's so many, like music. It's been a huge part of my life, and my kids as well. I wake up listening to music, whatever, you know,
Yep.
and it's so funny how the mind works. I don't know if you know, you're a musician, so I don't know if you wake up and it's like you have a song in your head that you need to play or listen to.
Right.
So when I wake up, it's like I have the music on. Everything I do, even at
Mhm.
work, I'll have on my headphone, and
Right.
I'm constantly music. Besides
Mhm.
running, I say is pretty much huge in my life.
Yeah, I'm always listening to this man right here, Prince. Yeah,
Oh, Prince. Oh,
yes,
yes, he is all time.
yeah. He's my favorite.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, he had like his energy was just beyond
right.
amazing, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. Great
Uh,
choice.
oh yeah. Two more, burgers or tacos.
Burgers. I'm a burger girl, but I do love tacos.
Okay. And then lastly, Batman or Superman.
Superman. I
Well,
do love them both, but Superman.
yeah. But yeah, Mary, I really appreciate you,
Oh,
coming on. You
thank you.
share a lot of great information to,
Thank you.
inspire people. And health and fitness is something that I love to, every so often to do on this podcast because, I lost my father almost 3 years ago, and
Right.
just
Wow.
kind of unexpected. And, so I
Right.
definitely think that, health and fitness, and the healthier that we are,
Yes.
that our chances of, fighting certain diseases are a lot better.
Mm, absolutely. You know, and I'll share this with you. My healer, again, I've learned so much from her. She's given me a lot of terrific input. You know, she always talks about meditation. Like meditation is huge, you know, to relieve a lot of your stress. If you're having a very stressful day, you know, and I do this. I'll go to my car, I'll put on my headphones, I'll put on some you know, hypnosis sound and put on my timer and just meditate for 10 minutes, you know, just to recharge. But she recommends 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut every day for a healthy gut, a beet every day. It cleanses your liver and your blood,
Mm.
and the magnesium. Besides, you know, all the other normal things like water and clean, you know, eating, trying to eat a lot of processed. I see a lot of the younger generations they're into a lot of the high sugar, like the Red Bulls,
Mm.
you know, to give them that quick pick me up.
Right.
But all those things have a long-term side effects. So the simplest form that you can eat something, the better your body will appreciate it, and you can see the results. And once you start implementing beets, don't get nervous, you know, because the way it processes in your body, sometimes the way it comes out, um, you know, it's obviously the same color as, you know, what you're eating, but it is very, very healthy for you. So, you know, just eat raw vegetables, much better than, you know, cooking them. Your body, the absorption of it, all the vitamins and all the nutrients, um, you know, sometimes get lost in the process when you're overcooking them.
Right.
So, but that's really wonderful. You know, I know, and having surgery, listen, I get it. It does take your body. It did take me about 2 years to fully recover. You know, just learning how to walk. I mean, my muscles became so weak after all those procedures that I had. I couldn't even hold my cell phone up, which is crazy. I couldn't
Wow.
stand up. I had to learn how to walk.
Mm.
So props to you that, you know, back surgery, I know is pretty big, and you're, you know, up and around and doing things. And that I always say a body in motion stays in motion.
Mhm.
And just keep at it. And, you know, not necessarily, you know, you don't have to run right away, but start walking, and then you power
Right.
walk, and then you increase, and then maybe you'll run for half a mile and then walk the rest of the time. And
Mhm.
but listen to your body. I always say it is so important. Don't ignore the signs. And if you're feeling pain, then, you know, stop. You know, stretch
Right.
also before and after, whenever you're doing any kind of activity like that is
Mhm.
important. Um, and that's good. Keep at it. You know,
Yeah.
you'll bounce back before you know it.
Oh
But
yeah.
do allow yourself enough time to recover as well.
Yeah, for sure. I have a birthday coming up in 2 days, and I'm just
Oh,
laser
happy
focused on like, I want to make,
birthday.
I appreciate it. I want to make this like my best year, you know. So I have a
That's
lot of goals I want to
awesome.
accomplish. Yeah.
Well, you're a great birth sign. Today is actually my daughter's birthday.
Oh wow.
And
Okay. Yeah, happy
yeah,
birthday to
so
her.
I will, and happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
You guys are very driven. Like you set your mind to something and you do accomplish it. And that's
Yeah.
phenomenal. So that's awesome. Are you doing anything special for your birthday?
Yeah, we leave tomorrow, headed to Dallas.
Oh,
Going to
fun.
see LeBron, Lakers
Oh,
playing Dallas. And my
that's
wife, when
awesome.
we dated, she lived in Houston. So I've been to
Uh-huh.
Houston, you know, several times, but never Dallas. So, you know, we're
Uh-huh.
both excited to go up there and hang out for a couple days and just you know, really kind of recharge too.
Right. I've never
Yeah.
been actually to Dallas or Houston. I've traveled to a few places in the world.
Mhm.
My favorite place, I would say, I spent New Year's Eve in London on the
Okay.
new uh, what is that? The Thames River.
Hmm.
There is a hotel, a Marriott hotel right on the river. And we watched the fireworks, the music. The energy was just spectacular. If you ever get a chance to go to London,
Yeah.
beautiful, exciting place. But I've always wanted to go to Houston, Dallas.
Yeah.
It's like one of those places that I've never been, but I always wanted, I know people are like super nice there.
Mhm.
And anything with the hot weather is nice.
You know, it's funny you said that. I want to ask you one last, I promise this is the last question.
No, that's okay.
But you living in Florida, when you go
Yes,
on like vacation, where do you like to
yes.
go?
I've been to many places in Europe.
Hmm.
I actually would like to explore more. I've never been to Greece.
Okay.
I've been to Italy, Rome, Cannes.
Oh wow.
And it's when you're there, you have to go topless at least once
Okay. Okay.
because people on the beaches there, they go completely nude.
Okay.
Um, but Italy, the Amalfi Coast, spectacular. What else? I've been to a lot of places, but I do, with the pandemic, obviously it's kind of put a hole in a lot of places, travel wise overseas. So I'm kind of still a little bit hesitant to travel outside of the US. I do want to go back to New York City. I haven't been there in a few years. I want to go to a pizzeria. It's called Patsy's Pizzeria.
Okay.
I think it's in Harlem. It's the original one, and they have paper thin pizza. It's one of the most delicious pizzas I've ever had.
Yeah.
So I've been dying to go there, and I'm planning to go to California in the summer.
Okay.
One of my daughters just moved out there, and just
Yeah.
go to the vineyards and drink some wine and just have some girl fun.
Yeah.
So, what about you? Have you been overseas?
Yeah. Korea.
Oh,
Korea. Yeah.
wow.
South Seoul, Korea, and been to two parts of Canada.
Oh,
So I definitely
nice.
want to, you know, expand and get out to
Right.
more places for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say, I always tell my kids, save your money that you spend for coffee, save it up and invest in going on a trip.
Yeah.
And my daughters have actually done that. I feel so proud. They actually traveled in the middle of the pandemic. You can get an airline ticket super cheap, and
Hmm. Hmm.
they all went to California, had a blast.
Yeah.
But those are experiences, life experiences that you never forget.
Hmm.
So traveling is most definitely something that everybody should put some money aside and just do it,
Yeah,
make
for
make
sure.
it happen.
For
Most people
sure.
are like, oh, I'll do it later, and then they don't get around to doing it. But
Yeah.
um, Italy was beautiful. The Amalfi Coast, the water, the people, super nice.
Hmm.
Um, I highly recommend it. Very romantic.
Yeah. Mary, anyone that's interested in following you, what's your Instagram handle?
So it is Mary. Well, it's always running with the smiles. But if you can always find me under Mary Smiles, and I'm the one wearing the blue coat. Um, so I figure that's easy. Mary
Mhm.
Smiles. And I do. I've tried TikTok, but Instagram seems to be my venue. People like me, and I try. I try to at least post once a week. My time has been very limited. I've been working a lot of long hours.
Mhm.
So, but I always have the need to promote fitness for sure, to get your
Mhm.
body moving, and positivity. being healthy and being consistent.
Mhm.
And I always say we always survive 100% of the worst days of our lives, right?
Yeah.
So never give up hope. You got to keep on trying. You got to be strong,
Mhm.
and just do it with a smile. You'd be surprised. You never know. Somebody's facing a tough time, and your smile can just make them feel better.
Yeah.
So I kind of tend to do that, inspire anybody that I come across.
Mhm.
I always make them feel good because, their life is tough,
Mhm.
and it needs people like us to
Mhm.
keep the inspirations going.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the
Thank
podcast.
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you on the very next episode. See you next time. Take care.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
I want to thank everybody for their support, those of you that have been watching all of our podcasts. If you're interested in donating to the Stage is Mine podcast, you can send that two ways, via PayPal or Cash App. Our Cash App is Terry from the A, and our PayPal is EETV101. Support this machine today to help us continue to do what we're doing. Also, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the Stage is Mine podcast, email me today at doubleetv@yahoo.com or call 334-498-5394. Thank you very much. I want to thank you for tuning in to today's program. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe,